Hey everybody, welcome back. This is a quick lab walkthrough for the graphing and analyzing the solubility curves of KClO3. Now this is a pretty simple paper lab, so you should be able to get it done pretty quickly. So our goal of this lab is to graph the solubility data, creating a solubility curve, and then analyzing that graph to answer questions. So like always, our background information is full of very useful information, especially if this is a new concept and you haven't quite covered it in class yet. It is definitely a great idea to read through that. Now, before we even jump into the lab, there's a quick question asking you to think about some things. Now, the answer to that question is looking at a pattern in this section. So once you read the question and look at the pattern, you should be able to figure out what that pattern is and then follow through. So once you've created that rule, you'll be able to follow it and fill in the data for that section there. Now, once you have all of that information in this column, we're going to graph it. So what you're going to graph is our temperature and that column you are going to work on. Now, here is your graph. There's a few things that we want to point out. On the y-axis, you have solubility per grams of 100 grams of water, which is why we're using that data. And then your x-axis has temperature. So you want to spread out your data as much as you can. So there are some helpful hints as to how to do that. And whenever you're working with a graph, it is always recommended to use a pencil just in case you make a mistake. Now, once your graph is done, you have a few questions to answer based on your graph. Now, you should be able to use your graph and the info in the background information section to answer your questions. And the last one wants you to look at your chemistry reference table and see if you could find a table that matches something along the lines of what we're talking about in this lab. So that is pretty much it for this lab. Have fun.